Are you interested in buying a taxi medallion or looking for TLC insurance? Reach out to West Way Taxi at 212-977-4590.
Black Car News editor and publisher Neil Weiss focuses his editorial on the crisis in New York City's for hire transportation insurance industry. Neil writes, "As you probably know, regulators were aware that the American Transit Insurance Company, which provides auto insurance for a majority of the drivers regulated by the New York City Taxi and Limousine Commission, was insolvent by $6 million all the way back in 1986. And that downward spiral never improved. Now, they're more than $700 million in the hole, and regulators and legislators alike are scrambling to find a path forward before tens of thousands of drivers face catastrophic insurance rate hikes and are driven out of the industry." Neil cites former NYC-TLC Chair Matthew Dawes, who has specific ideas on how to address the TLC insurance crisis. So, what can be done to repair the industry and reduce the impact on individual drivers? Dawes outlined the following reforms to reduce costs and restore fairness to the system. Lowering PIP coverage for NYC-TLC drivers. Adjusting mandated coverage levels would significantly reduce costs for drivers without sacrificing essential protections. Attracting new market players. Encouraging more insurers to enter the market would foster competition, helping to drive down premiums and build a more resilient insurance system. Enacting legal reforms. Addressing fraud and abuse in the legal system is critical. New York should implement measures to curb fraudulent lawsuits, including capping non-economic damages and increasing oversight of the professionals involved in no-fault claims. Neil concludes his article by quoting Dawes. Dawes estimates that if nothing is done to fix the current insurance crisis, the industry will essentially implode within 2 to 3 years. The failure to act will compound the crisis and lead to many thousands of drivers becoming unemployed, transportation companies losing revenue, and passengers paying higher fares and suffering from significantly reduced service, he said. "I started my career as a plaintiff's tort lawyer, so I am familiar with how claims, insurance coverage, and the system work, and how the system has failed." In his monthly column, Ira Goldstein, executive director of the Black Car Fund, shares his industry insights and thoughts on several topics, including New York City congestion pricing. Ira writes, "As you've likely heard by now, on February 19th, the Federal Secretary of Transportation delivered a letter to Governor Hochul that essentially rescinded the agreement between the Federal Highway Administration and the New York State Department of Transportation, which had given the go-ahead for congestion pricing in New York City. If you recall, in my last column I wrote that while congestion pricing had officially started, it still faced many threats, including the fact that President Trump had said during his campaign that he would kill congestion pricing if elected. He kept that promise. So, the question now is, what becomes of congestion pricing in the meantime? The answer for now is that nothing changes. While this issue proceeds in court, both Governor Hochul and MTE Chair Janno Lieber have said that they will continue to keep congestion pricing going until a judge tells them otherwise. In his letter to Governor Hochul, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy did not actually direct the MTA to stop the tolling program. Ira also discusses a New York City TLC public hearing held on March 12th regarding proposals to increase penalties for stationary and non-hazardous moving violations. He concludes his column with an update on the Black Car Fund, including the launch of a new website for the Driver Education Center. As I wrap up, I also wanted to give you all an update on our resource fairs. We held our last resource fair on Monday, February 10th, and it was bigger and better than ever. We have continued to expand the partners we have with us in order to provide more resources to our covered drivers. We extend a sincere thank you to all our partners who attended this fair: Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, the Hebrew Free Loan Society, our Drivers Benefits team, and the Independent Drivers Guild. Your presence and work provide a great benefit to our covered drivers and member bases, and we appreciate your support. Don't waste any time. RSVP now for the May Resource Fair and tell your fellow drivers to RSVP as well. Until next time. Remember, if you're a NYC TLC licensed driver, please make sure to sign up for your Black Car Fund driver benefits. In Commissioner's Corner, NYC Taxi and Limousine Commission Chair David Doe shares valuable insights into the industry. Chair Doe begins. Starting with yellow taxis, trips during the first week of congestion pricing were up about 10% compared to the same week in 2024. To be cautious, that's 1 week, and much more data needs to be collected and analyzed, but it aligns with what we hoped would happen when congestion pricing took effect. Combined with the fact that December 2024 saw more taxi trips than any month since March 2020, it feels like the recovering sector could be gaining more momentum. December also saw the second highest number of high volume and the highest number of livery trips since the pandemic as well. SharedDo continues. Daily farebox revenue is also hovering around $3 million per day, up over 40% from before the 2022 fare increase. So even though there might be fewer total Yellow trips than in 2019, each trip is an opportunity for Yellow drivers to earn more. High volume pay, which we are ensuring keeps up with inflation, and rising expenses through our minimum pay rules, is also at an all-time high. Making NYC more affordable for working-class citizens is a key priority for this administration, and informing the rules is a recent study we commissioned on driver expenses. Commissioner Do concludes by asking readers to check out the latest episode of Commissioner Cab, which explains the history and importance of our driver pay rules.